Team IBB. It's IBB Gary, and I am here with the hashtag IBB Top 3 Trilogy, Part 2, with the man, the myth, the legend, Chad Gourley with Torva Local. This is the second part of the trilogy. So this is the Empire Strikes Back version of this IBB trilogy. So if you have not done it, please go back, watch the first episode. Chad rocks and rolls it, and he talks a little bit about...
as far as like the last video?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it was just, honing in on the fact that everyone's definition of success is a little bit different.
Yes.
I wanted to help define what my success is. It really comes back to being happy, being healthy, family and friends, your support system around you, my career, all that. And then what we really got into in the first one was living outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And this next one kind of plays off that a little bit, but at the same time, it's different because it really relates back to your fears, right? I mean, a lot of times I try to tell people, like, don't let your fear stop you from living life on your own terms. Because a lot of us have fears. I would say every one of us has a fear of something. Everybody has a fear of something. But you don't have to let that drive you. It doesn't have to hold you back from the things you may want to do in life.
Yeah.
You can conquer your fears. You just got to figure out what it is that is holding you back from actually conquering those fears. Normally it's a skill set, or it's something that you don't normally have, that you don't have experience with. So it's like if you just get experience with it, it may not become a fear anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
So
I
guess from my world, mine personally, one of my biggest fears was of heights. Like I used to have one of the biggest fears of heights in the world. Now, you should always have a fear of falling, right? Because you should never want to fall.
Okay.
But you shouldn't have a fear of the height that potentially is out there, because a lot of times you could be walking on a platform that's wide, super wide or something, and it's just because it's elevated and you're like, oh man, I could fall,
scary.
right?
Yeah.
But you're on the ground and you walk in the same, on a much smaller thing, and you're like, well, this is nothing, right?
Right, if this is the same bridge, 5 feet off the ground, or 105 feet off the ground.
Exactly.
And you want to treat it the same.
Exactly. So for me, I kind of went at it a little bit differently to overcome this fear when I did this. I went out and I actually started doing some rock climbing. I went to the Cleveland Rock Gym. I did some climbing of some of the mountains and stuff, and mountainsides and whatnot. So that was pretty cool. And then I climbed some trees. And this is kind of funny to people. Like I go to the park a lot. So one thing I find myself doing is like when I go off trail, like there's logs that hang over ravines, and as long as the log isn't dry rotted, I make an attempt to walk over this thing, right? Like, again, you've got to break past that barrier.
Whoa.
Like, you've got to do things to push yourself and challenge you. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying everybody needs to do this. I'm not saying it at all. Another aspect of it, which is something I'm going to be doing in, I think, what time is it right now? We got 10:30. So in 5.5 hours, 5.5 hours, I'm going to be jumping out of a plane. Yeah, doing some skydiving. Yeah, I can't wait.
That is awesome.
Oh, man, my palms have been kind of sweaty all day thinking about it. But,
Didn't you tell me earlier that you woke up really early this morning? Because you're just like, you're so excited, you're so pumped up, ready to go.
Yes, we'll see what happens when I get near that door and I'm looking down now. But hopefully I don't have a countdown.
Hopefully they just
jump.
Just push me. Just push me. It's fine. It'll be fine.
Exactly.
How did this come to be? Where did you go from point A to point B in 5 hours? You're going to jump out of an actual plane, falling to your, to the
landing on the landing spot with a parachute, right?
I just said
it's not falling to anything.
Falling to pillows.
Well, yes, exactly. Really, a lot of it. I don't know. A couple of years ago, I got a different mindset in life. I told myself that I can't. Again, it goes back to what I said. You can't let fear drive you. You can't let fear hold you back from doing things in life. Like, you've got to experience life on your own terms, and you've got to. And again, it's something that's like, okay, a lot of people people have been talking about going skydiving for 10 years now with me.
Yes.
And it's just, I was like, just do it. What's the worst that's going to happen, right? You could die, I guess, right? That's the worst that could happen. I guess, right? But the best case scenario is you have an awesome experience. And really, that's what it comes down to me. I try to live my life through experiences and trying to do different things. It's like...
I would put that like right here.
Oh, right there?
That's huge.
Pop it up.
Yeah, living life through experiences.
You have to.
Huge. Yeah.
It's more, what, materialistic things don't mean anything at the end of the day. When you look back at life and say that you have this glorious mansion and all these things, it's like, well, what's that matter if you never really lived life? Go get to see the world, do these things.
Right.
And to me, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to experience as much as I can while I'm here. We're all here for a very short time.
Yes.
So let's do whatever it is out there that is going to make me push myself and challenge myself to be better every day.
Love it.
I mean, another aspect I mentioned in the last video was public speaking. I mean, I was so scared to do that. You know what I did? I just embraced it.
Right.
What I learned from doing that is, like, for public speaking, number one, if you know a subject very well, you'd be surprised how well you can talk about it. Yeah, you just go.
Right.
And then if you practice it and you know what you're saying, you're supposed to say, it makes it so it's very easy to get up there and almost have a conversational presentation about it. I mean, I've seen you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw James do it at the.
Excellent. United Way.
Yeah, United Way. Yes.
Excellent.
I mean, and the biggest thing when it came to that.
That's it. You gotta know about what you're talking about. You can't go up there and fake it. Of course you're gonna be nervous. You don't know what you're talking about.
And I will say with public speaking, if you're not nervous when you go up there a little bit at least, you don't really care about it.
Correct.
Because you got to have a little nerve shooting thing about it. I got my get psyched mix that I listen to before I do it, right? Yeah.
That's what we said.
I just get amped up. I'm like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm going into it like almost like I'd go when I'm training to fight and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But the last part of public speaking for me was like, and I don't think a lot of people realize this is, if you don't let people know that you screwed up, no one's really gonna know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And that to me was like one of the biggest overcoming moments of my public speaking was like, if you forget something, just move to the next point.
Yeah.
You know, most people are never going to know that you forgot it.
You're the only one that knows that that's what where you were trying to go. And if you didn't get there, that's okay. They didn't know. You were supposed to.
Oh yeah. I mean, you got to take a chance in life. I mean, you got to take risks. I mean, calculated risks, right? I mean, that's a huge thing. I don't take a risk like I'm going to go walk up this cliff and see how it works out. It's more of like, you know, take a look at the opportunity and see, like, can you make this happen? I mean, look at this for you. Like, for guys or girls, you know, they go up and talking to a person of the other, you know, the opposite sex, whatever it may be, and a lot of people have trouble doing that.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're interested in somebody, go up and just simply have a conversation. Ask them for the number.
Why don't you talk to them about why you're interested in it?
Exactly. Well, sometimes that might be a little bit much for the first conversation, but
I mean,
you know,
you can get there.
Yeah, you got to feel it out. But
Yeah.
it's just, you know, a lot of people have that fear. I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing is just go up and just talk to them. Just have a conversation. Ask them some questions. Find out a little bit about them.
Right.
And then, you know, maybe you ask for a number. Maybe you ask them to go out on a date.
Right.
Not that I'm saying that I did this recently, but, you know, it did happen. So,
Awesome. Awesome. Congrats.
Yes, but and then again, I mean, another aspect that I have is, you know, one of the biggest things that I think people have a fear of is what success looks like.
Mm-hmm. Right,
and overcoming that fear. A lot of people, they get to a certain point and they get comfortable because they don't want to go to that other side of what their definitions of success is, because it's a scary place sometimes when you find that. Like, as much as you would think like, oh, that's an amazing place, it is. But there's also that side of the feeling that's like, this is new. This is different territory.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do next?
It's uncharted territory.
This is where my plan stopped.
Yeah.
You know, this is where my thoughts stopped. Where do I go next?
Like, once you get there and like you're like, hey, high fives all around, big party, we got there. But then now what?
Oh yeah.
Right. So
definitely.
you have to, and then you just have to redefine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you guys actually know it. So you guys listen to Gary Vee all the time. I see you guys posting stuff. But he actually made it more relevant. And then since we live in Cleveland, it's completely relevant. But go all in with something, right? If you're gonna do something in your life, go all in. And I think it's referenced in the video. Like, we get in our car every day and we go all in, right? We go all in driving, and we don't even consider it. We think it's just a normal everyday thing.
Right.
There's more chance you're gonna die driving a car than probably anything else in your life.
Remember when you were, 16 or 15 and a half, getting your temps? How uncomfortable was that? But you just had to go get in the vehicle, 100,000 times before it's very normal. So like, now we do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Like, I remember when I was very young, I got in a bad car accident with a friend. Everyone's fine. It's all good. No one really got hurt, but it's just the car got smashed up. But I was afraid to get back in it.
Oh yeah.
For months, and I know I'm not the only person out there that's been in an accident and been scared to get back in the car. But like, just going off this example, you have to go and do it. You gotta not let the fear. Like, when am I not gonna go to work? When am I not gonna go to school? Or what I mean? Or go to my girlfriend's house at that point in time. You're gonna go.
Yeah.
You have to go. You're supposed to go. So you just have to get over it.
Oh yeah,
And
I can relate to
right?
that. I was in an accident too when I was young, and I was actually unfortunately in a couple before I was 18. But
not his fault. Not his fault.
No, I'll actually take the blame. I know that they were mine.
You're not applying for any
you make
coverage, right?
mistakes when you're young, right?
Yeah.
Since then, that's not wood, but we'll go with it. Since then, been pretty good. But I mean, it's the same way. I was actually a little gun shy to get back in behind the wheel a little bit, because when when something like that happens, and it necessarily almost wasn't my life affected, but others' lives were affected, and it made me really kind of sit back and take a look at, like, again, they were just, you know, a dumb error that I made at that point in time, but that dumb error could have made me lose one of my best friends. You know, I mean, and thinking about that was very difficult at a point in time to. I don't think I showed it as much to people, but inside I was inside it would eat away at me somewhat because. I mean, there was a time where it could have happened, you know, like losing a friend in the one situation. So it was very scary for me when that point happened. But you know, we're all here today. Everybody's fine. No one's in bad shape. But you know, when I got out and saw the scene, I thought to myself, like, wow, this is real now. This is real. You know, I mean, completely off where we're going with some of the fear side of things, but I mean, it's all right. You know, we had that conversation.
But like, you still get into the car every single day of your life, right?
Oh yeah.
You got to.
to.
Everything's gonna keep moving no matter what. So like, don't let fear hinder anything that you're trying to do in life or that you're trying to get out of life. So I just want to bring it to a quick example. Tony Robbins, I think everyone's kind of heard of him, right? He's a pretty important guy. So he's got this great story about driving in a car, and then you're driving like 100 miles an hour. Just imagine if you were the person like in the back seat, right? How would you feel? Like, let's say me and you were driving in the car, and then you're in the back seat, and I'm going 100 miles an hour. Like, what would you be doing? And I'm whipping around turns and going crazy. Like, how would you feel?
If you ask me if I trust you, I'm gonna be probably excited because I got a
He'll be excited.
As long as I know that you're a good driver, but at the same time, no, you're right.
I'm
you're
not.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I'd probably be scared. Like if you're driving like a maniac, yeah, probably.
I'm weaving in and out of traffic. I'm drifting on trying to drift on turns, trying to go Tokyo drift, but I don't know what I'm doing, right? So, how would you feel? You would feel out of control.
Oh yeah.
And scared, probably terrified, and you're like, Gary, get me the heck out of this car. But then switch the roles around. If you were the person in the driver's seat, right? Like you would probably feel a little more comfortable because you're like, I'm in control, things like that. So that's one aspect of it. You always want to be the driver, right? But then also, if you're whipping around these turns, think about what's going through your head. So you're the driver, you're in control, but if you're sliding this way, you're like, what could happen? What could happen, right?
Yeah.
You could probably hit a wall or something like that, right? So if you sit there and you're fearing that, hey, I'm driving and I'm drifting around this turn, I'm going to hit this wall, you're probably going to hit the wall, right? So the big thing that Tony talks about in the story that I'm butchering for sure, is to focus on like, hey, okay, so when I come around this turn, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm in control. So then I do this, then that, and then we're gonna be fine around the next turn, right? So stop focusing on the things that are going to hinder you from getting into that next level. Stop focusing on the fear. 9 times out of 10, that's not even gonna happen.
Yeah.
Right? It's just stuff that we just make up in our head, and stops us from trying something or from doing something or accomplishing something. So
I mean, to your point exactly with that, you find that if you think about how something could go and you think about it in a negative way, sometimes it has a way of working out that way.
Yeah.
You think about it in a positive way,
right.
Sometimes it has a way of working itself out that way.
Right.
You know what I mean, a mindset is completely one of the main focal points of what you need to do. Like if you like anything, if you attack life negatively, life's going to be negative for you. If you attack it in a positive way, like I'm going to make it around that turn.
Yeah.
And I'm not worried about the fact that there's a wall there.
Somehow
I'm going to make this turn.
Right.
I'm going to make it happen. I mean, more often than not.
Willpower, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's the fact that you believe in yourself. Because, and I think that just, I don't know, on a deeper level, you got to believe in yourself in whatever you're doing. Because if you're in a moment in time, but I'm not even saying that, like let's just say you're playing in the big sport game or you're playing in the big moment, the big presentation.
Yeah.
If you go into that moment and you don't believe in yourself, you're already setting yourself up for failure.
Absolutely.
I mean, you pretty much, you probably will not come out successful in that world, in that time. I mean, so you've got to go up there and you've got to believe in yourself. Even if the odds are stacked against you, you've got to believe in yourself.
Right.
I mean, that comes actually into
the Cavaliers winning the championship, right?
Yeah, exactly. You've got to believe. Even this year, you got to believe.
Yeah.
You got to go all in. We live in Cleveland. We've got to go all in, right? I mean,
think about like, hey, I got to get to work. My commute's 20 minutes, and it's 20 to 9, and I got to be there by 9 o'clock. And you're like, hey, I better make it. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. I'm gonna be late. But miraculously, if you're thinking that you're gonna be late, all the lights are red and the trains are all decided to go, right? Especially if you're in Willoughby, right? So
man.
like that happen. How many times does that happen to everybody all the time? You know, like I'm gonna be late. I'm trying to get to here, but I can't make it. But you're putting all that stuff in the universe.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh yeah.
if you just left at a better time because you were more prepared, you probably wouldn't feel like all that stuff's gonna happen. I'm not gonna run into the trains. I'm not gonna run into the lights because I have time. I'll be fine, and you'll get there.
Yeah.
You'll get there. Yeah.
I mean, so I guess some other areas where it comes to like fears, but it actually goes off the first video a little bit too. I know I didn't mention it in there, but you know, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a fear that I had inside of me. But for those that don't know, I train to do kickboxing. I do other types of training as well too.
Marketing, rock climbing, skydiver, fighter.
You know, a lot of different things. So for me, when I step in,
Normal stuff. Yeah,
when I step in and I do these things, and I do, you know, kickboxing, or even when I do CrossFit in these trainings, all working towards doing, you know, the kickboxing fights. I mean, there's an element of fear that comes in with that. You don't know who you're fighting. You don't know what they're capable of.
Right.
But you can't worry about that. It goes exactly with what you were just saying.
Yeah.
You can't walk into that situation and think to yourself that I'm going to lose today just because this person may have more experience. You may look at them and they're like, man, this person looks like an animal. They may not be. I mean, they may not be as well skilled just by appearance when you're looking at them.
Sure.
And for me, I mean, really with that, it came down to just continually like, and this is how I look at a lot of things in life, but really when it comes to me in training is that when it comes to thinking about who I have to fight or anything coming up, it's more the aspect of this person's always doing more than me. And when I feel that I am giving up, or when I feel that I'm getting tired and I have nothing left, when I feel like I'm not doing enough, or I can't tell how many times I think in my head, this person's going harder than me. They're training harder than me. They're working harder than me. They're doing these things. But I'm not trying to compare myself to them in a sense. I'm just saying to myself, this is how I can't give up. I can't. I'm tired. I'm beat down. I can't go any longer, but I can. I can. You just got to pull it right out of here. You got to pull it out and just let it go.
Yeah, it's almost like you're in competition with this guy over here that's training with you, but he doesn't even know.
He
doesn't even know that you guys.
I mean, that's really the biggest thing. A lot of people, I think, sometimes. I mean, this goes even into the again. I mean, for me, I used to be 297 pounds. Right now, I'm sitting right around 220.
That's huge.
You know,
that's awesome.
And
Congratulations.
it's like doing this and overcoming some of these battles I've had with just that. I mean, for me, it was very difficult to go into the gym, you know, at some points in times because, you know, you see people lift and you see people going hard, and it's like, I wish I could do that.
Right.
Now to the point where it's like, well, I'm doing that because I just stepped outside my comfort zone, overcame the fear of being around this type of an atmosphere.
But you had to do it a lot of times. It was getting out of your comfort zone every day when you went into the gym. So you're like, hey, you know, I feel uncomfortable going into the gym and lifting and going hard, whatever that means.
Yeah.
No. But you know what I mean? Like,
fun.
Probably should.
Yeah, this guy's used to do wrestling, jumping off ropes. I just saw some things that I don't know if I would do. All right, I mean, okay. We should share that experience with people sometime.
Sometime. We'll get there. We'll get there. But the fact is and what you're trying to convey in the message is that it's not just once. It's over consistently, right? It's not, you know, the one thing. I reference this book all the time. It's a fantastic book. The One Thing. One of the writers is Jay Papasan. And success is not simultaneous. It's sequential. And I'm like, that's it. And the fact that you lost how much weight?
What'd that be? Like, that's 77 pounds?
77 pounds.
Continuing on.
Yeah. And that's as of today. So tomorrow, 78, and there on and so forth. But it is the fact that he goes every day, steps outside of his comfort zone. He doesn't let the fear of whatever's inside of that gym bother him. He's still going to go after it because he's got a goal set in mind. And every day that he goes in there, he gets one day better. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say too, don't be fooled. I still have fears. Yeah, I mean, we all have fears.
Different
right?
ones, though.
You know, I've got some things, like, there's some things that, you know, for me, I'm only going to reference this right now, and maybe we'll do another video on it someday when I want to talk about it a little bit more. But, like, you know, a part of my past I'm not, you know, the most happy about, you know, as far as the things I did. And that really goes back into some of those things where I say you don't want to regret anything. I don't necessarily regret it. It taught me a lot. It made me learn a lot about life that I never really saw that side of life. But for me, it's still something I have an issue talking to people about and things like that. So, anyway, like I said, we'll do another segment on that maybe someday. I plan on using it for good. That's what I want to do. I want to take my my story someday and use that. But that's one of the hardest things for me to overcome at this point in time.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's been very difficult to think about that. And again, that's a whole. If we went into that, that'd be a whole other video segment. We could do that for an hour if we wanted to. But yeah,
whenever you're ready, man.
Whenever I'm ready.
We
Team
got the
IBB,
camera,
man.
yeah.
There we go. I will be there. But I mean, as far as my, again, it just really comes back to, don't set limits on yourself either when it comes to these things. Like, I find that the world will do its best to set the limits for you anyway. Just don't do it for yourself, right? I mean, there's no limits to what any of us are possible, especially if you remove fear and you start to live outside of your comfort zone. Challenge your fears every single day. Challenge them.
Fears.
Yes. Don't let them beat you.
Yeah.
You can't. If you let your fear beat you, you're gonna just get beat down by them all the time. You're gonna and then more fears will add up, and you're by all of a sudden you're gonna just be living in a box more or less, in the trivial box, I guess you'd say, right?
Right.
And that's what you're gonna be living in, and
I love it, man.
you've got to live outside that. You have to. I mean,
Dude, Chad, this is only the second video. I'm having an awesome time. This has been incredible. Thank you so much. Everybody who's checking this out, all you viewers, everyone on Team IBB, please stay tuned for the next episode, the final installment of the #IBB trilogy. So,
see you next time, everyone.
yes, until next time, stay burn proof.